New footage circulating online appears to show the destruction of a slew of Russian vehicles in eastern Ukraine, eliciting shock among Russian military observers, even as Moscow inches westward along the Donetsk front lines. In a clip posted online, attributed to Ukraine's 72nd Mechanized Brigade and dated January 30th, what appears to be a column of Russian vehicles advances on the Donetsk village of Novomikhailivka, south of Marinka, captured by Russia in late December, and southwest of the regional capital, Donetsk City. The footage, apparently recorded by Ukrainian airborne drones, shows kamikaze drones barreling into a series of Russian T-72 tanks and a number of fighting vehicles. The video then cuts to a series of explosions and heavily damaged vehicles. In just 3 hours, 3 Russian tanks, up to 7 MTLB-tracked armored fighting vehicles, and 1 BMP fighting vehicle were destroyed. According to the war-translated account on social media platform X, which works to translate war material into English. Influential Russian channels tracking Moscow's war effort were shocked by the destruction of the column of vehicles, the account wrote on Wednesday. Russia had attempted an unsuccessful assault southwest of Donetsk City, with footage showing damaged and abandoned Russian armored vehicles north and south of Novomikhailivka. In the wake of the attack, according to the U.S. think tank, the Institute for the Study of War, ISW. Footage circulating online shows that Russian forces sustained about a company's worth of heavy armored vehicle losses during assaults in the area, the think tank said. The destruction of a column of Russian tanks and armored vehicles recalls dramatic footage of Moscow's initial, 40-mile-long convoy heading towards Kyiv as the full-scale war got underway. Russia's tanks and armored vehicles have taken heavy losses in fighting in Donetsk in recent months, particularly around the embattled settlement of Avdiivka, northeast of Novomikhailivka. Russia has made some gains on the front lines, but paid for those small chunks of territory with significant vehicle losses. On Tuesday, the Ukrainian military said Russia had attacked around Novomikhailivka, Hayorhivka, and Pobyeda, along the front between the village of Solodke, south of Novomikhailivka, and Kostyantinivka, to the west of Novomikhailivka. Russia lost 2 tanks and 7 fighting vehicles, including a BMP vehicle. Shortly after the Kremlin took control of Marinka, a former Ukrainian colonel, Serhiy Hrabsky, told Newsweek that Ukraine's grip around Novomikhailivka would significantly deteriorate. Russia will also want to advance toward the town of Vuhledar, which was the site of bitter battles throughout 2022, he said in late December. Russian troops desperately tried to capture it, Hrabsky said, but Ukraine will need to steadfastly defend the settlement because of its strategic value. Moscow could then work its way to the town of Kurakhovi and ultimately down to Velika Novosilka, close to the Donetsk border with the Dnipropetrovsk region, Hrabsky predicted. Russian forces have advanced to the southwest of Donetsk City, after carrying out renewed mechanized assaults in the area, the ISW said on Wednesday. One prominent military blogger said on Thursday that Russia was advancing on Novomikhailivka and Hayorhivka. On Wednesday, Russia's defense ministry said it had repelled an attack from Ukraine's 79th Airborne Assault Brigade around Novomikhailivka. Ukraine defended against 10 attacks across Novomikhailivka, Hayorhivka, and Krasnohorivka, to the north of Marinka, the Ukrainian military said on Thursday. Some soldiers in the east of Ukraine say they will have little choice but to fight until the war is over, despite attempts by the government in Kyiv to mobilize more troops to replace those serving long stints at the front. Raft legislation aimed at replenishing Ukraine's depleted and exhausted armed forces is stalled in parliament. But one of the proposed changes is to ensure soldiers who have fought for 3 years can be discharged. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the military proposed mobilizing $450–500 more Ukrainians for the war. Families of some service members on long rotations have urged Zelensky to find ways of relieving them, but members of a drone unit fighting near the ruined city of Bakhmut believe such hopes are unrealistic. 36 months is a huge chunk of life. But what can you do? You must fight the enemy, said a 51-year-old drone pilot, whose call sign is Mac, speaking at night in a bunker position as machine gun fire crackled nearby. The battalion's commander, Yuri Fedorenko, said more troops were needed to allow assault troops in particular to pull back to positions further from the front to recuperate and be replaced by fresh units. But he too cast doubt on the idea of being discharged after 3 years. "Let's not cheat each other. This is not going to happen," he told Reuters at his command post in a separate location. "If we let these people, experienced officers, sergeants, soldiers, people capable of performing combat tasks, if we let them go, there will be no one left to fight."
Залпом! 300! 30!